people were kind of up in arms about trading Saddiq Bey, and I kind of knew that there was a good chance he wasn't going to be on the team. I had a sense that it was going that way. He still has like a good amount of value, I guess, but it was declining. Um, he was declining this year, and he went to the bench, and he still had some nice games. But I felt like every single time I watch a Piston game, I'm like, his name was never called ever. There's games where I was like, dude, is this guy even on the floor? Like, not just like offensive stuff, but defensive stuff. And I watched a few games, and he was getting blown by on defense. I was like, I thought this guy was supposed to be like, a staple on defense, but just not it. So, obviously, he had the 50-point game. Everybody else was hurt, I think, during that game, and um, all credit, all credit to him. But if you probably go back to that game, there wasn't that. It was like one. He was just hot. It was like one dribble shoot, two dribble shoot, mid range post. Like it wasn't like a huge bag as far as one on one moves go. He was just getting it in his spots, and he was making them. And so I expected a lot from him this year, and he just wasn't. He wasn't knocking my socks off, I guess, as far as his play.
I agree, but I still think they could have got more for him.
What would you have liked to like? Give me an example of what you think.
So, like, if you look at OKC, if you look at the Jazz, if you look at even Orlando, these are teams that started their rebuild far after we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their OKC is younger than we are. If you look, we're a young team, but if you look at OKC, they're super young. Chet's not playing, and they're a far better team than we are this year. Also, draft capital picks something other than a project. He's a project, is what Wiseman is. He's injury prone, can't catch the ball, and he's one of, you don't count it, but there's 5 big men on the team. So
I
I feel
think
like we didn't get anything for him.
I think OKC is a little bit different because their best player is like an all-star, like probably an all NBA player this year,
Yeah,
and he is a veteran at this point, and he's their main ball handler. He's their best player, kind of like Ja, right? Ja's younger,
stand job.
but your best player is also your ball handler and can control the whole entire team. Where with Cade out, your best player is Bogdanovich, who is not your main ball handler, who is a great scorer, but has his limitations and stuff like that. Isn't the one running the team. So, and Cade's has been hurt a lot in his early
Yeah,
career. So, um, we're super young, and we're still developing. We still just I can just see it out there mentally. Like it just not. There's a lot of growth that needs to happen mentally on our team, and it this year has actually been, in my mind, disappointing. Um,
yeah,
I didn't think that they were going to be good by any means, but they're very bad. And without Cade, it probably would have been different. But
yeah.
defensively is where it's really disheartening because I thought that Saddiq was supposed to be a good defender, Killian's a good defender, Cade is. I haven't really seen enough of him defending, but when I do, he tries hard. Um,
He's there.
he's there. I thought Stewart was supposed to be a good defender, but he doesn't do nothing for me. He doesn't block
No.
shots. He doesn't. He's more of like a positional defender, like shoot it over me, but I'm not going to stop you from actually shooting it type deal.
Yeah,
So
he's just there. He's just trying to use his force to hope that you miss.
yeah, so we need more athleticism, size at the center position, which we do with Duran, but he's 19 years old and still trying to figure it out. So when he goes off of the floor, especially like at the end of the games when you have to shoot free throws and stuff like that, it would be nice to have another center that is athletic and can move and kind of protect the basket, because right now we can't stop players from getting in the paint and we cannot stop players from protecting the basket. Now Duran does when he's on the floor. It's a completely different defensive game when he's on the floor. I've noticed that uh, from the first game.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different thing when he's on the floor, and that I knew he was probably going to start at some point in the year because he changes the way that the game is played for sure, which is good.
Yeah, but see, my thing is I think you're looking at it um, from an actual like standpoint of where we're at right now. I don't see maybe Ivy, definitely Cade, probably Ivy. Other than those two, I don't see anybody on the team being there when we're good again. So my thing is you have to build your war chest, get your assets, so you can put the pieces in place to build the roster that's eventually going to get you back in the playoffs. Because we're ass. I mean, you can throw a dart and whatever it lands on there's an issue with the team.
Yeah, we're not very good, and like I said, those players that you would think at year 3, like I give everybody a pass year 1, year 2.
Yeah,
Year 3, you got to show me something.
for sure.
And then year 4, you got to be like, all right, like it's either. So year 3 is the year to me, and that's why I say like Saddiq and Stewart. Yeah, they're solid I mean, they're okay players. They're solid. I mean, whatever. But I feel like they're almost at they're they're still off by a lot of years.
Yeah,
And
and Sadiq's
so
old too. I did forget about that when we were talking.
yeah, he's older. He played 3 or 4 years in college.
Yeah,
So
he's 24, 25 right now.
now if Saddiq was like a lockdown defender on the wing and he was what he was, like yeah, I'd like him. But I just feel like the Pistons fans in the most part think that he's better than just because he's our boy. You know what I mean? He's a leader. He's a tough guy. He's there's a lot to like about him, but when it comes to his game, I've been disappointed this year to see like he's kind of just the same player and hasn't really developed other parts of his game, like one on one, going one on one early in the shot clock, like using left right hand moves. He has no bag whatsoever. So,
Yeah.
and that's why he disappears offensively, because he needs wide open shot, kick out shots. He needs it. His offense relies too much on other people.
That's yeah, that's fair. And I think that's why he's so down this year is because Cade's not there.
Yeah.
And our point guard plays really not up to par right now. I haven't
Yeah.
even watched a ton of games. I planned on watching so much more basketball, and then when Cade went down, I was like, this sucks. And then
Mm.
with work and stuff, it's kind of tough. But I check every day, and I follow all of the beat writers on Twitter, so I always know what's going on.
Yeah, I've watched like a couple like YouTube channels pop up real quick, and every single time people are talking basketball,
Hmm.
like for instance, Duran. So the conversation came up with Duran, like, "Oh yeah, I really like this guy. Like, he's so tall and athletic and can jump really, really high, and wow, wowie wow." And it's just like, tell me something about basketball other than that. Yes, he's all those things, but what is he doing that is making a difference when it comes to basketball, skill wise, like his positioning, the way he plays the game? There's millions of things that you could talk about, but these dudes around Detroit are just like, he can jump high, he can run fast. I'm just so, so, so excited. This is the right guy. And he's like,
Weird sports. Sorry.
whatever, I don't even know. But like, it's just like so, like, uh, just no information whatsoever. It's like he's just
Yeah,
really good at basketball. Literally, what they say is like, okay, but why? And there's not a lot of people that can communicate that.
yeah, and that's so true. Like, I don't know if you listened to them while you were in Michigan, but like 97 won the ticket with Mike Maloney and all that. They
Hmm.
never talk about basketball because nobody in this area knows anything about basketball. There's never a good conversation. It's usually somebody calls in And they're like you said, they're just like, well, I think he's good. And then the host would be like, well, why? Like, why do you think he's an asset to the team? And
Hmm.
they're like, well, he gets rebounds and he dunks or
Yeah.
something like that. And it's like, but that's why I don't care for Wiseman as much because that style of big man doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think that he is the same player as Duran. I don't see him as a high
No,
pick and roll, like that's all I can do and I will dunk it when I'm open underneath the basket. I see them as completely different players. If anything, Duran and Stewart are similar players,
yeah, they
where
are.
I think that Duran is already better than Stewart.
Stewart can hit the three though. He
You
can.
see how
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's a good shooter, but I'm saying he can
hey,
shoot the three.
all I need to do is see how the defense plays him. When he's
Yeah,
at the
but
3 point line. They sag like and he's still shooting like 30%. And they're just like, go ahead, please shoot it wide open. Go ahead. That's all I need to know. So like if actually someone like respected it and actually guarded him, just think about what his percentage would be.